Not long ago, I stumbled across teachings of a man who died in 1972, and it's changing everything about how I see myself and my future. Welcome to my channel. My name is Laura Whitelaw, and I'm an over 50 woman. If that's you as well, and you are feeling stuck, frustrated with where you're currently at, and you're looking for a change, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about Neville Goddard. If you've been immersed at all in law of attraction teachings over the years, then you probably have stumbled across Neville Goddard. He isn't really a law of attraction teacher to my mind. He is more of a law of assumption teacher. So basically, his whole thing is assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So before I came across Neville, I was just feeling stuck in the hustle, feeling burnt out, and really not sure how I could go about changing my circumstances because I was just trapped, or at least I felt that way. Then, when I started immersing myself more into the teachings of Neville Goddard, I could see that this could bridge the gap between where I was and where I really wanted to go. So, Neville Goddard, he was more or less a mystic who wrote several books and conducted several lectures over the years between, I want to say 1940 to through the 40s and 50s, maybe somewhat in the 60s as well. And he really has come to be the missing piece for me for the law of attraction. If you really want to make quantum leaps, his teachings are really what you want to study. I think it's 25 years ago now that we were introduced to the law of attraction through The Secret. I was aware of it before The Secret came out, but The Secret basically didn't share. In a 2-hour movie, you can't really share everything there is to know. It was really breaking down the basics of law of attraction, but unfortunately it left a lot of people feeling frustrated and thinking that it was all a bunch of bunk, that there wasn't really anything to that movie, that it was just a whole lot of hype. If you take some time to kind of look back at your life, I'm sure you'll probably be able to recall some instances where something you wanted kind of came to you without a lot of effort, without a lot of stress. And that's the law of attraction in action in a positive way. The law of attraction is actually always working for you, but just maybe not always in the ways that you want. Now, what I like about Neville and his teachings around the law of assumption, it has to do more with changing your outer world based on your identity, how you identify yourself. So it's a process that starts from within that creates this outer reality. So to sum it up, it's living in the end is what really makes the difference in terms of being able to live the life of your dreams. And you might have tried different things like affirmations or vision boards or visualization, and not really gotten much in the way of results, but identity shifting really is the missing piece. So it's all about who you're being rather than focusing on attracting something to you. When you change the inner, it changes the outer. But the thing to be aware of, if you follow this type of practice, is that it's not necessarily instant. You have to continually revisit this new identity in order for the outer to change. And I have to say, I have been practicing this for a few months now, and I'm not really seeing a lot of change in my outer world, but I definitely have experienced a lot of change in my inner world. And so it's a good thing. I feel good. I feel very at peace, very happy, very content, very confident with where I'm going with my life. And I have no doubt that the life I visualize for myself, the life that I envision, is going to be realized. But right now, my signs that it's on its way, I guess, is that I definitely feel a shift internally. And that's where it starts. So follow along with me on this journey. And if you want a small, simple exercise that you can start with tonight, that is something that Neville Goddard teaches, you can start with, that is a core teaching of Neville Goddard. It's called SATS, which stands for the state akin to sleep. So this whole concept has to do with that alpha state, I guess it is, right before you fall asleep, where you're not unconscious quite yet, but you're starting to enter a little bit of that dream state. And if you can just have a short visualization of something that you want, that you loop, and it's a quick 5 or 10 second scenario that you loop over and over again, and you fall asleep to that, it impresses your subconscious mind. So you can start with that practice tonight and see what kind of results you get. So I did this several years ago with my last car, and I actually manifested that car. And every night before I went to bed, I would visualize myself coming out of the house, seeing the car in the driveway, getting in behind the steering wheel and seeing the logo on the steering wheel, and just feeling the joy and excitement about this new car. So that's an example. And I would just loop that over and over again. I also had some music that I mixed in there. I want to get all of your senses engaged as much as possible. So try this tonight. See how it works for you. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of SATS before, a state akin to sleep, and if you're familiar with Neville Goddard, what your experience has been with the Neville Goddard teachings. Thanks very much for joining me today, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.